Today's AskReddit post. What's the most embarrassing thing people would find out if you suddenly die? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. That I've been conducting a covert mission to document and rate every public restroom I've ever visited, complete with cleanliness scores and ambience evaluations. The only thing embarrassing here is you aren't sharing your findings with the world. That would create too many variables and change the data. My 71-year-old single, never married aunt passed away last month. Upon her death, we discovered she was a hoarder. Her house was so cluttered with stuff that there was barely a narrow pathway to walk anywhere inside it. Had this been discovered while she was alive, it would have been extremely embarrassing for her. More information: my aunt wouldn't allow anyone in the family in her home during her last 10 years. Her home wasn't always like that. She wasn't found dead in her home. She was taken to the hospital when her sister, my mom, hadn't heard from her for 4 days, which hadn't happened before. My mom called the police to check on her, and that's when she was found on the floor of her bedroom, unable to move and unable to reach her cell phone. Once in the hospital, she refused to allow anyone to retrieve her cell phone from her house, out of respect for her privacy. No one retrieved it until she passed. My aunt was loved by everyone who knew her. She was a kind, thoughtful, and generous person. Her secret, once exposed, did not diminish our love for her one bit. To-do lists from when I've been depressed with stuff like take a shower and go outside, and mostly not crossed off. Don't feel bad about it. You're still here, which means you've made it through everything so far. I'm proud of you, and you should be too. Thanks. You're doing okay too. Honestly, nothing. I'm that boring. In the autopsy they'd see I have hemorrhoids, but besides that not much else. Get one pierced to really throw them off. As someone who's had hemorrhoids before, the idea of that horrifies me. I'm female, and a male ex of mine loves dressing up in women's clothes, especially lacy underwear, silky nighties, etc. He was really scared he was going to die and his family would find all this stuff, so he keeps it in an old suitcase of mine with my name, flight tags and address on it, so it looks like I've left it at his house. I personally think they'll still be surprised as I don't wear anything fancy, just jeans, black t-shirts, etc. But it keeps him happy. Nice of you to be a cover for him, even though you are not together anymore. I'm a hetero-intercausal female. My search history would not indicate that. Statistics show that the vast majority of straight women who watch porn watch almost exclusively lesbian porn. Why? Well, from what I have found on the topic, it is because women envision themselves as the female in porn, while men on the other hand also look at the female and are attracted to the female during the intercourse. That's why a lot of men also watch lesbian porn, because rather than envisioning themselves as the man who is pleasuring the woman, they look at it more from an outsider's perspective, while women tend to envision themselves as in the perspective of who they are watching. I'm a straight woman who only watches porn for the women in it, to the point where even seeing a man would turn me off. Not attracted to women in the slightest in everyday life. Couldn't tell ya why. I shouldn't admit to this, but duck it. I had a bit of a dry spell, 2 years, and I bought a intercourse doll. It's gone now. But when I always thought, dude, what if I randomly die and my parents are cleaning out my closet and find this thing? Apostrophe. Have an unrelated person write a note that makes it seem like this was a gag gift. Then put that next to the doll. As long as you don't die mid-use, no one will be any the wiser. Hopefully they cleaned it after use too. If you're reading this worried about someone finding something out, I had a friend who died accidentally from choking himself while pleasuring himself. In an effort to press upon people, it wasn't intentional, and in her grief his mom didn't care who she told. Nobody else cared either. That's not what we bring up about him. We're all just sad he's gone. Please be careful if that's your thing. You guys responded to an unconscious person. He was pleasuring himself and would touch an exposed wire at the moment of ejaculation. Help on top long this time and electrocuted himself. Diary entry like random notes, where I'm venting about certain people/situations. Writing has always been a helpful way for me to process more intense/confusing emotions. But I do worry that, if I suddenly die, those notes will be found, and people who I genuinely cared about in life may then think that this one random journal entry represented the real way I actually secretly thought about them in totality, when really it was just a moment, and not representative of my whole relationship with them. I actually wrote a disclaimer at the top of my worry journal for this reason. I explained that it was the place where I worked through difficult feelings, and it wasn't representative of reality. It was the worst parts of me that I didn't want to bring to the relationship. I don't want anyone to think I didn't love them because I was struggling with fear or anger. I think I'm scared of anybody reading my diary. For my family, husband, kids, parents, friends and coworkers, I'm a smelly and active person. But in reality I'm always afraid of life. Full of depressive thoughts. Constantly fighting to not let my anxiety get the control of my mind, knowing most of my life anxiety will win. If someone read what I write, they will know that I was actually acting to be a good person when actually I'm a psychiatric case with no solution. It sounds more like that you actually are a good person despite having psychiatric issues. You are doing a good job. You are not your thoughts or your mental disorder. I subscribed to a hedgehog rehab charity. I had no idea hedgehogs had such a drug addiction problem. That poop gets everywhere. We have some interesting proclivities in the bedroom. So we already have a pact with each other to get rid of the evidence if one of us goes first. We have a friend who promised to take care of it if we go at the same time. I feel like that should be an actual professional service. Like, upon your death, a designated person receives instructions on how to dispose of your things that you don't want your friends or relatives to know about. Be the change you want to see in this world. Don't care. I'll be too dead to be embarrassed. That I write romance books under a pen name and they sell lol. My messy house. I feel that I would have to be dead for anyone to see how messy my place is. ATM. My building caught fire, and I had 2 days to get what was salvageable out of my apartment. It was embarrassing how many dust bunnies were floating around. At first, it was like poop, what if I've forgotten about something embarrassing and my friends find it. By the second day I truly did not care what they thought or found. I was too traumatized. I have a sketchbook that I draw intercordial stuff in, and they are all drawings of me. I find this very interesting actually. Might try this for more confidence. I did try this and immediately got upset because I drew myself like a Chinese man from those damn racist commercials. I almost cried because I draw so bad. My web history of fanfics I have been reading. My AO3 account and bookmarks will never see the light of day. Hopefully. If they root around my room, they're gonna find an entire collection of Onishi pajamas, including a Charmander suit, strategically hidden away. Does the closet happen to contain a Spiro Onishi as well? Now since I know that exists, it will soon. I'm dead. I don't care that they find a full deep freezer in the cellar with heads in it. Plot twist, the deep freeze is full of bananas that they were saving to make banana bread, but never actually made any banana bread. Just kept collecting bananas for years. I've got an old Playboy magazine under my bed that shows boobs. You vile creature. Probably the Piskink. Username checks out. To quote Seinfeld, Jerry, asterisk, can't you at least die with a little dignity? Asterisk, george, asterisk, no I can't. I can't die with dignity. I have no dignity. I want to be the one person who doesn't die with dignity. I live my whole life in shame. Why should I die with dignity? My tattered underwear. I smoke weed. I'm an old lady now. I've smoked for 52 years. Found my person. I mostly do edibles but smoke sometimes. I've been smoking for 44 years. Nice to meet you. I'm kind of known as a geeky academic person in my family and friends. However, I write romance stories on one of the online platforms with fake name and have a good following. They all will be surprised. I have a list of secrets that my sister is in charge of. She is supposed to open it at my funeral and spill all the beans. I'm talking every dark secret between everyone, that includes me. I'm hoping everyone leaves happy I'm dead. And the simple fact she still speaks to me is more than enough proof. I know she hasn't opened it yet. Why do you want it read? Like, why do you want the secrets spilled? Some people just want the world to burn. Notes app. I'm 71. When I die, the surprises. I spent all the money. Good for you. My Reddit history 8. Vertical bar. They would find the gold flatware I have hidden under my bed and cash in. 4 testicles. Are they all in a row, or like 2 rows of 2? I'm assuming maybe there's 2 in each side of the sack. I'm intrigued. 2x2. Medic alert bracelet. Delete my browser history. How much smut I actually read. I watched and enjoyed all 20 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. You monster. You whore. They are gonna find a lot of clothes from the opposite gender. Username checks out. Best username ever. Probably the fact that underneath these clothes, I'm totally naked. Slut. Dang it. I always run into someone who knows me on this sub. I knew someone whose husband died suddenly. She requested his medical records to get answers about his passing, and they ended up sending records from before their marriage as well. Before they were married, he had been treated for an STD in his rectum and never told anyone. Was he secretly gay? A victim of some in the past? We will never know. I'm a boring accountant. In my dresser I have one drawer filled with weed gummies. In my underwear drawer I have 2 pair of panties from girls I dated and a set of handcuffs. Not such a boring accountant. Huh. I have my moments. One of the girls' panties. She was wild, I tell you. When we first were dating, I drunk texted her to come over. She read me the riot act about how she doesn't do that and she is a born again Christian. The very next morning she sent me a video of her masturbating using her toy and moaning my name and talking about my big CK. Too much for this boring accountant. Yeah, all of your porn stuff. I never understood why anyone would download porn when it's always available on the internet. You may not be able to find again the perfect, very specific one you found once. I can't find some porn videos that I loved anymore on the internet, so they are gone. How much I'm lacking money on my bank account, and how terrible I've considered myself all my life. Oh, and my darkest habit maybe. I always hated injustice. So sometimes I'm tracking crazy people that are seeking for children on the internet, making them lose their time, go to false friends' vows, and scare them so they actually aren't meeting anyone except their dark sphere. Why are people embarrassed about intercourse toys and porn? Just looking through this, it's subtly normal to have them, since half of these responses are my intercourse toys. Notice what's normal and take a chill pill, folks. For years, I've cultivated an idea for a business. It's a joke idea, but my friends and I have had so many funny conversations about it that it suddenly feels like a legit idea. The business, skeletons in your clothes tea. You wear a Fitbit-like device, and when you die, I get an alert. I rush to your house and erase all evidence of anything that would embarrass you. By the time your family gets there, your secrets will be safe. I got this idea when a couple we hang out with jokingly asked me to dispose of their intercourse toys if they were to die unexpectedly. Lol, we thought the Ashley Madison hack was revealing. Imagine this business data getting leaked, haha. The fact that I have about a dozen tubes of toothpaste ready to be deployed at a moment's notice That's what I would have said 10 minutes ago, before I read the responses others posted. Now I'm actually feeling pretty good about myself for not having anything embarrassing. Nothing. I've installed a vitals tracker in my body, so that if I ever die it'll set off the bomb on my hard drive. Though anyone within a 10-meter radius will die. How boring and non-embarrassing my life is. My son will have the chore of cleaning out our house. This is why our private photos from early in our marriage are in a marked envelope. No one should have to see those pictures of their parents. I also have a lot of photos on my phone of my chest and belly to track a rash that comes and goes for the last 4 years. It's probably lupus related. Nothing can really be seen, but the sheer number is embarrassing. When I die, the people around me had better have the decency to not look through my laptop/phone, or they're going to find my fanfiction page and all the weird poop I have bookmarked on it. I'd better pray there's no afterlife or ghost life, because I might just die of embarrassment a second time. I have over 500 videos of kinky animated porn on my phone, as well as 2 drawers worth of intercourse toys. Specify that your phone is to be buried with you. Nah son, I want my massive porno collection to go on an estate sale. I have debt. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.